Heavily attribute my brand sales to my product packaging. So today we're going to be taking a look at the template that I sent to my package designer to create product packaging. Stands out and pulls your attention in. This is not my packaging. This is Liquid Death's packaging. My company is not public. People clicking on my ads, searching for it, skews all the data. Done it in the past, not doing it with this brand, sorry. However, I will share all my resources with you, this PDF included that we're gonna be going over today. There's a link in the description, completely free PDF download. You can go access my free resources, this included and much more. Great branding already exists. Great packaging designs already exist. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. I know it can seem scary and like, you know, designing a whole package or box or bag or can, whatever you're making. Where do I start? Well, I'll tell you where I started. I just started looking at packaging that I liked and styles of design that I liked. And I said, I want to essentially make my brand look like that. That's a good place to start. So designs our package will be inspired by. So after studying my audience, I knew that they were on the edgier side. So I wanted to create this punchy packaging in a boring old industry. So my design inspirations to my designer were Liquid Death and Voodoo Ranger. Pictures worth 1,000 words, right? So I can write an insanely detailed script, or I could just show someone kind of what a good starting point might be. Okay, so now we get into the element we're actually doing outreach to a designer. And I recommend picking a designer based on their previous work. So look at their portfolio of artwork that they've designed already and try and set that in alignment with the brands that you have already identified as being models for the type of packaging you want to design in your specific market. We are designing a package for product. The attitude/brand is edgy, dark, and mysterious. So I like to set the level of feeling high right away. I want them to identify with how this should feel, how it should come across, what's the energy, what's the vibe. Right when I look at it, I should just get it, right? I don't want you to have to, if you explain your joke to me, it's no longer funny. So in that same way, I want to interact with my audience where if you don't get what it is right away, if you don't connect with it right away, I've failed you. I failed you as a customer. We'd like to design 2 different packages as we'll be testing them amongst our audience, right? So you have package A, package B. This gives you some power. Now I can go out and survey before I ever commit to anything, go see if I get product market fit. Let's just ask people, right? Hey, do you like this package or do you like this package better? Have them maybe different energies, maybe same energy, maybe different, you know, key elements in each of them. Just think tank a few, brainstorm a few, and then have your designer, trust me, it is worth the another $250 or $300 per design, whatever you're doing for a high-level package design. So worth it in the grand scheme of things to get that feedback in early, because your first attempt is not always your best. In fact, you should probably test more than twice. Maybe you can do 3 or 4 iterations of your packaging, but that might come from 2 very different ideas. Get confirmation on which idea you want, and then within that idea, maybe color scheme changes, font changes, etc. get tested against each other. Then you finally have the king package design. So package design 1, the narrative of this illustration is a character/hero that is action, so doing something. So we want to create movement on our packaging, something that pulls you in. It's like, again, show me, don't tell me. Don't just tell me it's a great product. Show it to me. What are you hooking me with? This is your hook. So your character/hero doesn't have to be a person. In this case, I would say the skull made out of water is the character/hero. There's movement there. So we would say the narrative of the illustration is a skull that is melting action. So we want the character that is melting, the skull that is melting, to be angry, in anguish, right? That's where you get to put your feeling that you're trying to portray. Just go back through and fill in the blanks in these examples. So there will be another creative element with our brand written on it, okay? And what I mean by that, it's not present in this case, but you might see some interaction between your key character and another element on the packaging in some cases if you have a product where you're telling a little bit more of a story with what's happening on the box, okay? Package design 1 might have another creative element. Package design 2 might be simpler. In this case, it is. So we will drop the creative element on the other one. But just as an example, that's one way that you can differentiate. So color guide, focus should be on the character/hero, with the creative element contrasting the rest of the packaging. So feel free to take some creative freedom on the coloring for the rest of the package that you feel fits the brief. I like to give package designers, creatives, freedom with restraint. If you're just saying create 5, I want to pick the best one, it's a little sloppy on your behalf, right? Because you want to be controlling the narrative a little bit based on the data you're collecting about your customer. So I would encourage you not to just give complete creative freedom over the idea and the concept and everything. Try and have a direction that you're going and give creative freedom within that direction. Then we go to discuss more on the character/hero, how they should be designed. So there's an emotion, a situation, and an action. So it's like in anguish. Situation is like they're like looking up, and the action is they're melting, or they're made out of water, they're dripping, whatever. I say that, I'm referring to this guy again, in case you guys are like, what is he talking about? Okay, so package design 2. This packaging design will be simpler. So we want to create a design heavily influenced by Liquid Death or the Atomic Pumpkin can. Sorry, I don't have that can present today, but we were looking at pictures of it above. That is edgy and cool. So instead of, by the way, this is a template that I actually used and created to build the brand packaging that I showed you the sales of earlier. So in our first example, we had a more complex packaging, telling the story with another creative element and a key character, interacting with each other, etc. Package design 2, which I'll have you know is the one we actually went with. So we designed something more similar to this. That ended up actually winning in the polls. So this packaging will have a key character. The inspirations will be a leather jacket with tattoos, etc. This character will not be action from before. They'll simply be positioned at the front of the package. By the way, here's like the key things you need to write out for your packaging. So we covered kind of creative and design aspect, and then there's just simply some things that you need to do. So what we did for that was we thought, well, what does a 9-figure e-commerce brand put on their packaging? We should probably have all of that. So I named each of those for you again, so you can just quickly take Liquid Death, replace it with your brand name. So brand name would be Liquid Death. Product name is Grim Leafer. Okay, in this I was using a different example, so I wrote Mountain Water. Product description is Straight from the Alps. Instead here on this can we have iced tea, agave, and vitamins. And then tagline for your package, Murder Your Thirst, usually the thing at the bottom of the packaging. Tagline number 2, so in this case, because we're doing a template, we would be sending this over. I want to give you a spot for another tagline for the other packaging. And then we have short story and long story. So short story is the little paragraph right here. And then long story on their traditional bottle would be an expanded version of this. So that was another element that was there. It's like you can read this and it's bolded in a little bigger, and then you could continue reading if you so choose. And I mean, I want you to look at this. This infinitely recyclable can of stone cold sparkling water came straight from the Alps to murder your thirst. That's a short story. It's a pretty crazy thing to write on a can of water, right? This one says this psychotic can of iced tea will use agave and B vitamins to savagely murder your thirst and turn its insides into a balloon, so on. It's just ridiculous, right? But that's good. Again, if people can't hate your packaging, you probably didn't take it far enough. So you want to have that brand identity and connect with someone. Don't just be absurd to be absurd, but if you know you're going to connect with a certain type of audience because you've studied them, you've researched your core, dream customer, and then are now building something for them, well then go to the extreme side of who you're building for that they're really going to connect with. You have a cause. So on our product, we have a cause as well. We have a donational element as a percentage of purchases. Donational is not a word, but donation element. Mission description. So what's your goal of the product? This is your area where you can put fun facts, key product features, how to use it, right? So this will likely be on the back of the packaging and allow you to say more about your specific product, because it's not all wrapped up in just name, placement, story, taglines, right? You likely will want to go into specifications and ingredients list if you need that for your product. That would be in mission description / regular description. And there will be a PDF down below. There will also be a subscribe button down below. If you want to click that bad boy and click the bell next to it, you'll get alerted anytime I make awesome free videos about how I make money selling products on Amazon. Sounds pretty cool. Anyways, thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much. Later.